Hey everybody, how are you all doing? Sorry to be a few minutes late here tonight. Hope you guys are doing well, and I hope that you're having a wonderful, wonderful Friday evening so far. Sorry again for running a little bit late. Just kind of getting a few things set up here. And howdy, howdy, Virginia Bushcrafter. Nice to see you in the house. Thank you for popping in. And Average Joe MRE Outdoor Gear and Gadgets. Good to see you, Joe, as well. Nice to see you guys here. So, um, appreciate you popping in here. So, I tried to do a little bit more of a proactive approach to the live stream here tonight, and I did get this one scheduled out, and I managed to only be a few minutes late. So, that's not my worst performance, I guess. Better than just doing them randomly. But yeah, I guess the sort of plan for the evening here is I want to sort of treat this as a little bit of opportunity to cross promote your channels. Would love, for you guys to share out your link, and you'll kind of see underneath me here, scroll bar. If you type in the hashtag new friend, it will share out your link for everybody. So I encourage you guys to do that. And the other thing as well that I'll open up is I will share out the link shortly, but would invite you guys where if anybody does want to jump up and kind of chat with me on the panel, that will be opened up here shortly as well. And the panel will be there so that way you can kind of talk a little bit about your channel if you'd like to, kind of share a little bit about what you do, what you're all about, and good opportunity to get in front of some new friends and kind of promote your channel. But would love to have you jump on board as well, so we can just kind of chat and pass some time that way as well. So I'm just gonna try to find out here. I'm a little rusty. These they go, but I'm just gonna try to find a place here to share out the link. So you have to bear with me here, but we'll get that shared out here shortly. I hope you guys are all having a good week and a good evening. I got out after work for a quick skate with the snack squad here tonight after work. The weather was pretty nice today, so I think right now it's maybe about 0 degrees Celsius, so pretty reasonable for this time of year out. So we got out, did a little bit of skating. We have an outdoor rink just a block away from home, so I was able to take out the kids, do a little skate, which was fun. The ice is definitely starting to fade a bit. We're kind of noticing that the ice is getting a little thinner and it's getting a little sketchy kind of around the ends and so forth. But it was fun to get out there with them, and hopefully a few more weeks out before the ice is completely gone. It's nice to have it close by, a good little exercise and stuff like that. There you go. I just shared the link, so if you want to join the panel and kind of chat with me, you can definitely click the link, and I can add you into the chat if you want to jump up on camera. Nice to see you, Spicy Tuna Rolls. Appreciate you tapping in. Hope you are having a good evening. I hope you had a good week. I was just mentioning as well that you can type in hashtag new friend to share your link, and I definitely encourage you guys to check out each other's channels. Really good opportunity to meet some new channels that you might not be familiar with, but I think that Average Joe definitely connected to Spicy Tuna Rolls, and I think to the Virginia Bushcrafter as well. So, but if not, good opportunity to kind of click and explore each other's channels. And if you are trying a new channel here tonight, I encourage you guys to click on the channel, watch a video or two, engage with the video by leaving a like or comment. That way, your friend request, I guess, if you will actually stick. That's an important piece too. Otherwise, what you'll sometimes find is that you'll see that a channel gets a bunch of subscriptions and then they just disappear. They tend to disappear when I engage with a video or two. Hi, Fires. Nice to see you. Thank you for dropping in here. was funny. I was going to, or I was actually giving some consideration at some point to doing a live stream where I actually pull up the guitar and play some music, but I just don't know if that's okay or not. I've seen some stuff that basically indicates that that kind of stuff is copyright, could be copyright violations or whatever if you're playing someone else's music. So I probably won't do that at this moment in time. But I thought that that would have been a fun thing to do. Like if we, if we could have. But I think that it's restricted, unfortunately, to do that kind of stuff. So what can I tell you that's new? I guess we can kind of start there. So yesterday I dropped an ice fishing video. So I went out ice fishing on Sunday. So we had a pretty good time doing that. So I went out by myself. The kids didn't want to come with me, so I went out ice fishing by myself, just to a lake that's about an hour away from here in Edmonton. A lake I've gone to and had some good luck before in the past, but yeah, it was dead quiet, so I didn't have a lot of luck catching any fish. The last few times actually that I've been out to that side of the lake, it's been super duper quiet. So yeah, I think I'm going to try to maybe check out a new spot out there on the lake tomorrow. The kids seem interested in coming along with, so we'll see how that goes. Sometimes they have big aspirations of kind of joining in, and then when we're actually comes time to wake them up in the morning, it sometimes becomes a little bit trickier to actually drag them out of bed and get them out at the lake. But hoping for that. I think tomorrow it's one of those weird days. I think where it kind of gets a little bit colder through the day. So, like I said, in the morning tomorrow, it starts out at being minus 12 degrees tomorrow around sunup. Well, I guess it warms up a little bit, warms up to minus 9 degrees Celsius. So, not a warm day by any stretch. So I'll probably bring out the tent and a heater and all that good stuff to kind of keep the kids warm and cozy. Um, what kind of fish are there? So that lake has a lot of walleye, a lot of little walleye, kind of in that 30 to 40 centimeter kind of range. It has a little bit of northern pike and then some perch, and then the odd whitefish. So I've had the most luck with walleye out in that lake. But I think I see Virginia Bushcrafter jumping in here too. So if you want to give me a thumbs up when you're ready, I'll add you, here to the panel. Nice to see you as well, Old Man King. Thank you. Let's add Virginia Bushcrafter to the stream.
Hello, everyone.
Hello, can you
How
hear
are you
me?
doing? Yes, I can hear you. Can you hear
I
me?
can't hear you on my end.
Okay. What about now? Can you hear me? Let's see.
I can see you, but
Let's.
you can't quite hear you yet. So maybe something's glitching out.
Okay. Let's see.
The tech issues.
Yeah. Let's see. How about
Oh, you can
now?
hear. Oh, wait a minute. You know what? Oh, it's a me problem. Hello?
Okay. Okay.
It was me.
Okay.
I'm sorry. You know what?
Oh,
I muted my computer so that way the stream wasn't playing in the background and
okay.
distracted me. So shame on me. Sorry about that.
No problem. No problem.
Good to
So
see
yeah.
you.
So good to see you, DC. Yeah, I get a lot of your communication, but hey, I heard you coming on, so I said like let me stop doing what I'm doing and enjoying this chat. But yeah, I really like your channel. The thing that I really like about it is the fishing adventures with your young kids. I think that's really important to get your kids involved at an early age. So yeah, I think I really do like that.
Oh, thanks, man.
Yeah.
That's awesome. I appreciate that. It's awesome taking them outside with me, and I really enjoy the time that we get to spend together. And
Yeah.
yeah, I've been dragging them along with me since they've been, you know, basically barely able to kind of walk, right? So it's been fun in these videos to kind of look back as well at like how much they have grown, which is also
Yes.
pretty cool.
Yes.
Hmm.
Yeah, the thing is, you blink your eyes a couple of times, and then it's going to be college tuition.
Oh man, don't get me started. My oldest is moving to grade 6, right? And even
Uh-huh.
that to me is crazy for him to be going to a new school and all that stuff this fall. So you're right. You blink and man, time goes by fast.
Yeah, yeah, it really does. It really
Mm.
does. Yeah,
Would
yeah,
you like to
but
tell the folks maybe a little bit about your channel and kind of with what
yeah,
you do?
yeah, yeah. My channel is the Virginia Bushcrafter, and I've only been doing this a little bit, maybe over a year. But what I have found out, other than just being a lot of enjoyable time, is that I focus on shelter building and making sure that I do have water, food, and fire. There's so much that goes into shelter building that lately I've been using tarps, but this weekend I'm going out and I'm going to make a debris shelter, a lean-to debris shelter. And I keep looking at the weather. We're getting rain right now. And I'm saying, even if it does rain, I still have to go out there and prepare in the rain. Because one of the challenges will be, if it does rain, is keeping the fire going. I
Mhm.
think a lot of people, they watch these channels, they watch these bushcrafters, and they see the end result, which is really grand. Seeing the fire, getting ready, getting to eat, and so forth. But what's really missing, and I'm really not sure how to do this right now, but all the and intense labor that goes into harvesting that wood and then processing that wood. And for some reason in Virginia, our bush has just been wet. The wood has been very moist,
Mhm.
but I've pretty much gotten over that on how to do that. Once you get that fire started, you split that wood, you can always keep your fire going. But I think one of the most important things is that you just actually have to get out there, and you're going to have a lot of challenges, failures. Well, I don't call them failures because you're always learning from them. But
Mhm.
building that fire, harvesting that wood, just getting the fire started with that ferrocerium rod, that's a challenge starting out. I've done the flint and steel. What I'm really looking forward to now is doing the bow
Mhm.
drill and the hand drill. But in theory, I can do it. But you still have this fear of, oh, I've got to go out there and I just have to do it. I have to do it. But this weekend, I want to focus on building I built a debris shelter before, but what I want to do this time is be more efficient in building the debris shelter. It's going to be a lean-to, and I won't be staying overnight in it this weekend, but hopefully next weekend I'll be able to do an overnighter. So basically, my channel, again, it is about learning and practicing bushcrafting, prepping, and survival skill. Because even when you're out there, you're prepping, getting the wood. That's prepping.
Mhm.
If you're not near water, going and get the water, sourcing the water, filtering the water, um, purifying the water, and survival mode. You want to prevent from getting injury. You don't want to throw yourself into a survival mode, but if you do, you want to know what to do. Are you in a good location where rescue squad can see you and find you, or will you have to move to another location? The signaling and so forth. So there's a lot really to it in bushcrafting, prepping, and survival. So that's basically what my channel is, and it's enjoyable. It's a challenge, but it's enjoyable.
Hmm. I love one of the things that, and I threw your link up here for folks if so they can go check you out. But one of
Yeah.
the things I like about your channel so much is that you have a great way of explaining things. You know what I mean? Like when you're watching your videos, you're actually kind of going through and demoing and showing people with what to do, and you really do an awesome job at encouraging people to, like you said, try those skills. Make sure you're not getting rusty, right? Like because that's another thing with bushcrafting, and I'm sure that you would agree, is if you don't
Hmm.
use it, you lose it, right?
Exactly.
And it's that kind of never-ending sort of ability to get better. And I think you're up for a challenge dealing with it in the rain to build that debris shelter, get a fire going, and That's not easy work, but it's better to do that now than if you're
Exactly.
you're hurt or lost or something like that, and then you're up against
Yeah.
those other
Yeah.
challenges, right?
So yeah, but there's a lot more that I'm looking forward to doing. One thing is navigation. I can read a compass, but efficiently. I still carry a GPS as a backup, but I want to be able to learn how to use the compass efficiently, read the map efficiently, use the pace beads, um, because I mean, you never know when your batteries are going to go out or you can't get a signal. So you
Hmm.
really, I think learning to utilize a compass is so important.
Yeah, yeah, totally. So what's like? Tell me a little bit about your background, I guess, in terms of
Well,
outdoors and bushcraft.
well, actually, my background is only 1 year of bushcrafting. Prior to that, I did a lot of hunting and fishing, but
Hmm.
and that led to the bushcrafting. But I love the hunting, and hunting is a challenge. um, you know, just going out there, trying to walk softly, being
Hmm.
in a tree from 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. and not seeing anything, it's a challenge. So, but I love the fishing. I love the hunting. And the thing is that I don't eat any of the venison or the fish. I give it all away to elderly people. So that's
Okay.
something I really like doing because I just don't eat fish or meat or anything like that. So I like giving it to people that are elderly who can't work or unable to work. I give it all to them. But prior to the fishing and the hunting, I was more or less like a bicycle racer,
Oh,
and
cool.
I did that for a while. Never won a race, not one race, but that was fun, And I've done competitive swimming. Never won
Hmm.
a heat, but it's all been fun, and I think it's just the camaraderie. So that's what I really enjoy. But yeah, prior to that, I'm retired. I worked in the federal government 35 and a half years in the real estate department, which that is basically my career, real estate. So I really like that. And I tell everyone every day is a good day to buy real estate because it only appreciates. Even though
Hmm.
we have the interest rates that are going up and the economy is kind of stagnant right now, it's always a good day to buy real estate. But that's basically what I do. So I'm just enjoying the bushcrafting right now. I want to get back into the fishing. I used to do a lot of night fishing, and so I'm going to incorporate that with the bushcrafting because I mean that's part of survival, being able to
Hmm.
hunt and fish.
Totally. That's awesome. And how did you get into the like YouTube game? Like what inspired you or kind of caused you to decide to get into this?
Well, what happened is I was out hunting one day, and I had watched some of the channels before. I think it's the guy name is Really Big Monkey One Dave, and I
Okay.
saw him make this bed just out of paracord alone. So I was carrying like 100 feet of paracord, and I was out squirrel hunting. Said, you know what? I'm just going to try it. I made this bed. I actually slept in it for about 30 minutes. So that led to buying more paracord, trying something else. It's like, okay, I have all these hunting knives. Let me get a bushcraft knife. So that's what really thrust me into bushcrafting was making that paracord bed, a bed just strictly out of paracord and 4 trees. And
Hmm.
here I am now.
That's too funny. Yeah. So kind of you were just inspired to start the channel just by watching someone else on YouTube.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, yeah, yeah.
That's
That's
awesome.
yeah. I was watching again, Really Big Monkey, Corporal's Corner, and
Hmm.
Survival Lily, and that led to every channel that I'm subscribed to now.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
what have you found like to be the more challenging things about running a channel? Because it's let's be honest, when you're trying to put out content, get out there and film it, there's a lot of work that's kind of required. So I'm curious, like from your perspectives, what are some of the things that you found the hardest?
You know what I find the hardest is right now is editing.
Yeah.
I find that to be very difficult. As a matter of fact, I just did a video today, and it should be up tomorrow or later tonight. But editing is very difficult for me. And actually being out there, I see how a lot of people are able to film the entire event and then speed it up. I'm not able to. I haven't learned how to do that,
Mhm.
and uh, so the editing is really a big challenge. And another challenge is actually, growing my channel. I think I have like 451 subscribers right now, but I keep saying, how can I convey my serious messages to people out there and grow my channel? So I find out that that's been very difficult. I think I put my first video up. I think it was sometime in April or a little before that. So again, it's the editing that's challenging to me. Getting the subscribers. I try to always have good content, and I think that's the key. But yeah, I would say right now it's the editing. Am I really reaching the individuals that I need to reach? I stay abreast of the analyticals and so forth, and how my channel's doing, and but that's been the challenge. I think it's just going to take time, but I think if I were able to really put the everything that I want to put into a video, um, I think it would be much better. But because if I put everything I wanted to, the video would be 4 or 5 hours. So I try to just get the important parts and put those together and put them out there and see what happens.
Mhm. I think you bring up some really interesting challenges, though. And one of the things that I noticed that you do quite a lot is stuff like this, right? Like the truth is, I don't know how you feel about it, but what I'm finding is, you know, YouTube doesn't necessarily do the best of job of helping us get out there. I turn on YouTube and I see little Mr. Beast Boy or, Unspeakable and all this stuff popping up in my feed where these guys got
Hmm.
millions and millions and millions of subscribers. And, I mean, I'm sure that these guys have put in the effort to kind of get with where they are today, but you
Hmm.
really got to look real hard to find the yous and me's of the world, right? So I think one of
Exactly.
the things that I admire about you is that you are, doing what you can do to kind of get out there, build your community, spread your reach, connect, jump on stuff like this and kind of get your name out there because, you know what I mean? Like if you're not doing that, you could have awesome content, but, no one's knows it even exists, which is, sometimes very frustrating, right?
Right, right.
Yeah.
And one thing that I do, I always say prepare for the best, be and prepare for the worst. But I did a video on what would you do? I mean, it was pertaining to wood, our
Mhm.
power. If all
Yep.
of our electricity went out, your solar panels didn't work, what would you really do? And one thing I really depend on is wood. So every time I go into the bush, bring some wood home with me. Now I don't have a fireplace, but I do have a fire pit. And I think if it really the worst scenario came, that I could go in my backyard and I could put wood in the fire pit and I could have wood for a while, maybe 2 days because I stack it in my garage and it's not much that I can put in there with my vehicle and so forth. But I think it's really important if people understand our power source is the wood. It's
Hmm.
you'll be able to eat, boil your water. Um, it's just a comfort. So I don't have a generator or a solar pack. That's something I'm going to be working on obtaining. But I think every time I got in the wood, if it's two pieces of wood, it's two more pieces added to my collection.
Hmm. It's funny that you mentioned that because I've started to do the same thing. So I think your kind of post the other day about the firewood. I remember responding to that one and kind of chatting a little bit about
Hmm.
back and forth
Yes.
about our house. And we have wood burning fireplace in our house, which we tend to use mostly just for winter ambiance, right? It makes the room a little cozier, gives a little bit of
Right.
heat, but it's not something that's really intended to like heat the home. But we've had a few situations where, for example, the furnace went out, and
Hmm.
between having a few electric space heaters around and that wood fireplace, it at least gave us a place that was kind of cozy and warm to kind of hunker down till we got the furnace back up and running. And that was in the winter time too, right? So definitely you start to get that appreciation for having that little stock. And it's funny that you mentioned when you go out in the woods, you bring back a little bit of wood, and I tend to do the same thing. Here in Alberta, you can't just go out into the woods and take back firewood. You actually need to go online and get a permit, and you can collect it from certain public land areas and bring it
Mhm.
home. And it doesn't cost you anything. You just have to go in, plunk your name and your email address, just in case a conservation officer calls you over with a load of firewood. But
Mhm.
I found myself, during hunting trips, if the hunting was a little bit slow, I would bring back, a Rubbermaid tote or two, firewood. And then at the end of the year, when I'm going to clean up trail cameras or hunting blind, I'm coming back with a, toboggan or two full of firewood. And
Mhm.
it's, not only do I find that, it's funny because for a while in my life, I cared not to be a provider, but man, I'll tell you, I enjoy even, like the venison steak on the grill or the firewood that I'm pulling from the Rubbermaid tote that I collected. I'll tell you,
Right.
I'll never pay a guy for a load of firewood ever again because it's something fun to do that just brings this like cool connection, right?
Yeah, it does. It really does. And
Hmm.
and just from gathering the wood, it really forces you, or it forces me, how to use cutting tools. You
Yeah.
know, there's so many different type of knives, but I think if you just get a knife and really learn how to use it, that's great. But I just like having numerous knives, and every time I go out, I like to take a different type of knife. Um, so it will force you, gathering that wood will force you to learn how to use your cutting tools,
Hmm.
and I
Yeah.
think that's very good.
That's awesome. Yeah, there's a little bit of commentary. You kind of talked about, growing your channel, right? You said editing was kind of a thing, and then the next piece is like, how do you grow your channel? So there was some interesting comment here. So Two Brothers Outdoors talked a little bit about publishing shorts. They bring in
Okay.
subscribers. Have you tried to do any shorts before?
Yes, I've done. I want to say maybe two or three shorts. Well, no,
Hmm.
I have done some, and I did some accidentally. Didn't know they were shorts, but
Yeah.
yeah. So that's something I'm going to look into.
Yeah, I started to do a plethora of shorts around hunting season, and I got a little crazy with it. I was trying to do one a day every
Hmm.
day that I didn't do my Thursday video. And I actually did exactly what Two Brothers Outdoor says here. You remix the video and make a short from an interesting part. So what you can do is you'll be able to like clip out a 15-second period of your video, put that up as a short, and then folks can actually click on it and watch your full video. So it
Okay.
sometimes can direct people like not only to your channel, but it also actually directs people back to that video. And you'll find that in your videos, and I know that yours tend to either be what would be the average length of a video? 15
Uh,
minutes,
30,
20 minutes,
30
30?
minutes at the max.
Yeah, so you might be able to actually pull a few little segments of there, like of you building, your fire, or getting water, little tips that you can kind of, and you can inject that into the shorts feed, which might actually pop some people your way. And I found that that definitely helped. But what that didn't do is it didn't actually pull a lot of people back to the channel to watch the full length video, because I don't know if necessarily people who have the 15-second attention span of a short have the attention span to watch a 15, 20, 30 minute long video. I don't know if necessarily those people are the same people. So that's what I've been struggling with, is how do I grow? And the other thing that I found sometimes too is I might actually be disengaging folks that like a longer format video by blasting these like 15 seconds videos into their feed regularly. So
Yeah.
these are things that can work, but they can also kind of create a conundrum of like, what do you actually want?
Yeah, yeah. I just think I just say, I just try to put out good content.
Mhm.
But I think that's a good idea. That's a great idea about the shorts, which I'm going to try. Yeah, because like I said, I did a short once when I was out of town and wasn't able to go bushcrafting, so I have to
Mhm.
do something. And I did a short on a little medical kit.
Yep.
So, but
Yeah.
I find it to be very very interesting. It's fun.
Yeah, it's a cool way to, like, what I found with the shorts is you'll find some that kind of hit lightning in a bottle, and you'll get, 1,000 views out of it, or a few thousand views. And then another one, which could be almost like the exact same content, kind of titled similar, sent out
Yeah,
another day, you get like 14. And I don't understand necessarily why sometimes it gets distributed and sometimes it doesn't. So there's just so
yeah.
much to learn, right?
Yeah, it is. It is. I'm finding myself that I put so much time into this, and I'm just lucky that I do have enough time to do that. But it's like the video I did today. I mean, I just thought it would go so smooth, but man, I really put a lot into it, and it still just doesn't come out the way I want it to come out, you know.
Hmm.
But
Yeah,
I find it to be fun.
it is. And you also got to remember that you're doing this for, yourself. Like, you got to
Yeah,
make sure that at the end of the day that you're enjoying what you're doing and you're finding it fulfilling. Otherwise, I think, if you're just trying to put it out to get people to click I don't know. I think that could, I don't know, that just feels a little dirty to me. You know what I mean?
yeah, I agree. I agree. You know, I want to
Yeah.
put something out that is worth someone's time.
Mhm.
Um, something that they're really interested in, something that they can learn something. That's my main thing. As long as they can learn, if it's not the one thing, But I definitely encourage people just go out there and try it. You don't have to go very far from your vehicle, but you'll get to a point that next thing you know, your vehicle will be out of sight.
Mhm.
You know,
Completely. Yeah,
yeah,
it's about those little challenges. I'm going
yeah,
to say hello to Josh here. He says,
okay,
I try to pick and choose on shorts only if I can get something interesting that feels like it belongs. So I think that's similar to what you just said, right? About the quality,
yeah,
of the content means a lot too.
yes,
And Two Brothers Outdoors tapping out. I'm editing a video for tonight. Got to go have a good night. I think I caught
okay,
up to everybody else that popped in, but I know Average Joe MRE mentioned that there's lots of videos in YouTube channels. So leave your link so I can check them out. So again, I encourage everybody to drop your link, and you can also use that little shortcut by typing hashtag new friend as one word, and it should share out your link as like an auto post. So I encourage you guys to give that a try too. So, but I like, like I said, I think that your idea of getting out there, trying new stuff, pushing yourself to kind of explore, learning new things, and recognizing too that we all have a lot of things to learn. I've always enjoyed, when I get a comment from somebody who says, hey, you could probably try this and do that better, or have you considered doing that? I'm all up for, thoughtful and friendly critique, right? That
hmm,
allows us to get a little bit better. I remember I had a few people post on some of my videos. So I have one dog, now two dogs, right? And
hmm,
technically these are bird dogs, but I don't know if they're ever cut from that jib. They're couch potato dogs, that's our fault. I'll put my hand up and blame myself for that. But I remember one of my viewers had posted and responded like, "Why you got your dog on a leash? Why you got your dog on a leash?" I said, "The reason I got my dog on a leash is because that dog is the dog of two boys and a wife who are going to kick my butt if that thing goes missing off in the woods, right?" So
right, right,
there's also those sorts of pieces that people can sometimes watch a video and expect to sort of see something, but we can all do our things our sort of way, and I think that that's it's also an important piece too when you're kind of putting out stuff.
yeah, yeah. Because I know some comments I've received when I first read them, it's like I was totally against them. But after you think about it a while, it's like, that is a good idea.
Hmm.
One content creator said, "Well, there's no need for him to take a hatchet. That he prefers just a large knife." Well, I always take a hatchet, but after really thinking about it, depending on your skill level, maybe he doesn't need a hatchet. But I just feel safer with a hatchet, even though I usually carry a large knife as well. But if you think about some of the things, a lot of them, a lot of the comments, when you really look at them, they can be positive. You
Hmm.
know, so I learned from. That's why I'm always asking people to comment, because I learn from them as well.
Hmm. I agree, and I've actually had a few people too that I've engaged with. Like I know that there's different perspectives on it. Like we sometimes read a comment that we would take or perceive like negatively. And hey, you know what? Some of them probably are. Like I won't shed that, but I like to respond with them with that sort of benefit of the doubt of even if I think that they're being a bit of a jerk, I'll respond and be like, hey, you know what? Appreciate your feedback. I'm glad that what you're doing works for you. And hey, man, thanks for watching. Because at the end of the
Yeah.
day, if you even hate my guts, you're leaving a comment and it's actually helping me out, right? So
That's right. That's right. That's right. That's a very good point there.
At least
But
you made them feel a certain way.
yeah, yeah, But one thing I tell people all the time is that you think, okay, after a year or two, I would have everything covered. But every time I go out, I
Hmm.
find out how much that I don't know. For example, last weekend I went out and I hadn't been out in like a month. Something as simple as a Prusik knot, it wasn't working. I had to stop and really think. It's like, wait a minute, this is something that is just so simple, part of a lean-to shelter. And that goes to show you if you don't use it, how quickly you can lose it.
Hmm.
But it was like a Prusik knot. How could I not remember that? But after 3 tries, it was right. It came back and it was so very easily done.
Yeah.
And another time I was out, I've always worn gloves. And I went out one time and it was so cold. I had the gloves on, but I couldn't tie any knots. And I kept saying, I didn't understand why some of the guys would wear the gloves without the fingertips.
Yeah.
I learned that's why.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you always learn something. At least I do.
Hmm. Yeah, I agree. Yeah, you do. And it's funny that you mentioned about learning. Like that's one thing I am so bad at is knots. Like I tie the same one all the time. A lot of times it's not very good. My motto has always been like just tie a lot of them because I don't know. What do they say? If you don't know the knot, tie a lot. That's how I live my life. It's
Yeah.
definitely something that I could learn more about. Is that
Yeah.
and you talked about fire starting similar to you. Like I can build a fire with a flint and steel like a sorry, like a what you call it, like a ferro rod type
You're
flint and
right. Yes.
steel. Yeah, or like the magnesium starters.
Yes.
I'm good at those kinds of things, but I've never played around with something like the bow drill, the friction fires, and I think that that would be definitely something to at least have some level of comfort with, right?
Yeah. Yeah. There's a channel, Expeditionary Johnny.
Yeah.
He did the bow drill. I mean, and it was just to the T. And I think one thing that is hindering me is that when I go out there and do it, will I be able to do it as well as Expedition Johnny?
Right.
But I know it takes some practice, but I want to do the bow drill and the hand drill because what happens if you're out there and you don't have a fair sim rod, you don't have matches or lighter? Well, the only thing to do is to use the wood friction. So
Hmm.
that's something I want to learn as well. So, but I think
Totally.
I'll practice that at home first.
Yeah, yeah, and I think that that's something that probably takes like a ton of practice. Like even watching Expeditionary Johnny with something as simple as like the selection of the wood, right? Like that makes such
Yes.
a big difference of what you're
Yeah.
using for the board and the base and all that stuff. Which there's so
Yeah.
much to consider.
Yeah. I didn't know that, but yeah. So that's something that's on my bucket list that I want to do relatively soon.
Mhm.
Um, and one thing that I really enjoyed making was the Dakota Fire. I
Oh
thought that
yeah.
was so cool. But I'm gonna do it again because a lot of things that I've done, I want to do it again to be more efficient. But the
Mhm.
Dakota Fire was something that was in my head that really was. It's like, oh, I got to do it sooner or later, and I did it. And now I'm finding out I could have done it much quicker. So a lot of
Mhm.
things I've done, I'm going to do them again to be more efficient. Another thing I did was the hammock bed that was made out of wood. Um, and when I did it, I did not know how to make a square knot. So
Mm.
this time I know how to make the square knots, and it should be much quicker. Uh, Instead of hoisting it up with the rope, I ordered some. I think they call it mule pull tape or something like that, and it's weighted at like 1,800 pounds or 2,500 pounds. So I'm going to use that to hoist the hammock bed up, and it's just some things I've done that I want to improve upon doing them. So
Mhm.
I'm going to be redoing a lot of the things I've done before, but again, I think it's repetition, just doing them over and over.
That's awesome. Do you want to like just in case people aren't familiar with like the Dakota Fire? Maybe you want to kind of elaborate on what that is.
Yeah, the Dakota Fire is actually, you have a pit, and it should be at least 12 inches or maybe 2 inches deep. So at least 12 to 18 inches in width. So you have a fire pit, and then you have an oxygen pit. Now you have the fire pit, the oxygen pit that could be a little smaller than the fire pit, but they are connected with a canal underneath. What I learned, that canal should be at least your fist width,
Mm,
and the oxygen pit should have some type of trench that allows air to come into the oxygen pit, goes through the canal and supplies air to the fire pit. Now the coat of fire is basically something used in a stealth situation where you want to try and keep the flames below
mhm.
um, the ground, and it should be um, made up under some type of foliage. But it's something that it's not very good if you want to supply heat, but it's
Right.
very good if you want to cook. So it's more or less something that is for a stealth mode.
Mm,
Um, but it's something it's very interesting, and it was very challenging. But I'm going to be doing that again, just to be more efficient. But I even want to try that. I'm going to make this shelter that will house at least 4 individuals, and it's
wow.
going to be made from three 9 by 12 tarps, two 45-degree angles, and then one that goes over that. And I want to put a Dakota pit in there,
Oh, cool.
since flames are not supposed to go above the ground level. So that's something that I want to try as well. But I think the Code of Fire, it was really fun. It was challenging. It was really fun, and it took me a while to do it. And I even bent a shovel doing it,
Oh,
because using the wrong technique. And I
mhm,
did use one of my inexpensive knives because it was to the point that I got to get this canal dug. And
mhm.
I could drive my fist through the canal itself. So I think it was a success. I was able to roast me some food over there. I took some green sticks, and removed the bark, and was actually able to cook some noodles, and me some smart dogs, and it was a lot of fun. So I
Yeah.
encourage people, hey, just try it.
Mhm. That's
Yeah,
awesome. And I love, like, even just when you're explaining that, I can tell and see in your eyes like how excited you were to try that, and how much like learning you now have coming out of that experience, right? And the
yeah,
things that you'll do different or better, kind of tweak and change, right? I think that's what it's
yeah.
all about.
Yes, it is. It is. I mean, I did not know that bushcrafting was this much fun. You
Yeah.
know, I mean, it can be really tough, but once you do it, it's really fun. And I encourage people, just go out and try it. You
Hmm.
know, I mean, I haven't done a lot of bushcrafting using a tent,
Hmm.
and I I mean, tents are great, but I think tents are more or less for camping.
Hmm.
So I like the bushcrafting because I think some of your heaviest gear is your tent and your sleeping equipment. So with using tarps, they're much lighter, and I just basically carry a bedroll, and
Hmm.
I will carry three um, trash bags, and if need be, I'll just fill them with trash. Put the not trash with the leaves, and then
Hmm.
I'll put the bedroll on top of that, and I'm good to go. And then I try and sleep, you know, no less than 3 feet away from the fire. So with mylar tarps and the fire right there, no matter how cold it is, you're gonna stay warm.
Hmm. I like that. And you know what, man? Like, I am trying to think. I haven't slept under the tarp in a while, but the thing that I did is, when I was starting to get into that, is we would practice in the backyard. And I think
Yeah,
that's like such a highly underrated thing, that people, who are trying to get into that kind of stuff, is like, go outside, string up your tarp in the backyard, play around with different configurations. If you get rained out or the mosquitoes eat you alive or whatever, you can still just retreat into the house and it's, 25 steps away.
That's
You
right.
might not be able to dig your Dakota fire pit, maybe, I don't
Right.
know, but you
Yeah,
can
you
still,
won't.
right, but you can still play around and have that experience and test
Yeah,
yourself
that's
to a
right.
degree.
Yeah, that's a good idea. I tell people, I've even practiced in my garage,
Hmm.
my backyard, and then eventually going out to the bush. But that is a great idea. Practicing in different configurations. I wish I had done that before I really started. The first time I went out, you mentioned the knots. I mean,
Yeah,
I had so many knots. It got to the point I just took the knife and started cutting everything loose. When I left, it was like it's going to be dark by the time I get all these knots out of here.
that's too
But
funny.
yeah, that's a good idea. Practice at home before you go out in the bush.
Hmm. Well, it's like to your point, like what you said earlier, right? Like you get further and further away from the vehicle as you get a little bit more comfortable. So start in the backyard, man. It's low risk. I always encourage that too with people. Like, as you mentioned off the top, one of the things that I try to do is I take along my kiddos, my snack squad, with me as much as I can, right? But
Hmm.
I can't jump the gun and instantly expect them to spend an all day out there out on ice fishing. Like you got to start small, and I
Right.
truly believe in those kinds of things. And I remember even, we would set up the tent in the backyard or, I set up the tarp a few times for them to have that bushcraft experience. And I'm a realistic human. I know that, even now my 8 and 12-year-old, they're going to have a hard time, packing out in the woods and sleeping out, under a tarp, in the woods. Could they do that in the backyard? They have, and they loved it and they feel
Yeah.
great about it. Right. So I
Yes.
definitely encourage people to do that. Even like non bushcrafters or non-campers or non-fishermen or whatever,
Hmm.
expose your kids to those kinds of little activities that are safe and fun, and give them the opportunity to try out something in a safe kind of place, right?
Hmm. Yes, it's a step-by-step process.
Hmm.
Yeah, and
Absolutely.
yeah, once you are really comfortable going out there, you really don't have to hike a mile into the bush.
Hmm.
You can go as far as 50 yards away from your vehicle, uh, because when you when you're out there, when you have a rucksack on your back that's 45, 50 pounds, you're not interested in going 2 or 3 miles. And the thing again about bushcrafting is that what I've learned is that you should know where you're going even before you leave your resident.
Hmm.
Because if you're going out to enjoy yourself, you're going out to enjoy nature. So if you know where you're going, you have it mapped out, you don't have to go 3 miles up a mountain or anything like that. You
Hmm.
can figure out, I'm going here. I know there's a stream here, so I only have to carry maybe one canteen or two canteens. When I'm going out and I'm not near water,
Hmm.
I'm carrying it maybe a little bit over a gallon of water. But if I'm going and I know where the water is, I will only carry maybe two canteens, a 40 ounce and a 28-ounce of
Hmm.
water. So,
Hmm. And there's so much recon that we can now do from Google Maps or
yeah.
stuff like that. But no, I think you bring up some really good points, and I think just to tag on to that, building your itinerary is good to also let people know where the heck you are. Like especially with me being out hunting and stuff like that. I will absolutely, let my wife know. Here's where I park. Here's a pin where I know that the cell phone reception is here. Here's a, you know, I'll be back at Sunday by dinner. You got to do that sort of stuff too, because as much as we're prepared, we are learning, and stuff can happen.
That's right. That is so true. One thing that I do once I get there, I
Hmm.
always write down the name on the kiosk and the address, and I keep that in my pocket in the event that something does happen. I know the game warden; they're going to check for identity, or
Hmm.
someone will know where I am. I leave my brother's phone number, how to contact him. But that is a good thing, letting someone know when you're going, where you're going, when you expect to be back. And,
Hmm.
even writing down, if you have some medical conditions,
Yeah.
writing those on notepads so that when EMS gets there, they will know how to treat you.
Hmm.
Yeah, so and that's really important. And again, another very important factor is having your first aid kit and actually knowing how to use a lot of the equipment that's in there.
Hmm. Yeah, all really serious things to kind of consider when you're out there mucking around with sharp things or wandering around in the dark or whatever, playing with fire. Like these are things where accidents can and definitely
Hmm.
do happen. I've heard some horrible stories, about people splitting firewood and, using the axe like this and it kind of gets caught on the sidearm and, stuff can happen in a blink of an eye.
You're so right. You're so right. And something else I tell people, you don't have to walk fast in the bush.
Hmm.
Don't lift one foot. I mean, make sure you have 2 feet on the ground before you lift that other one. And now I carry, I think they call it a staff walker. So I will
Hmm.
always have at least 2 points of contact on the ground.
Yeah.
But my thing is just walk slowly. You're never in a rush when you go into the bush because you don't want to step into a hole and twist your ankle or and
Hmm.
thrust yourself into a survival situation. Try to get all of your wood processing before dark. You don't want to be out trying to get wood.
Hmm.
When you're around the fire and you have to get up slowly, make sure your feet are planted and you know where the fire is. There's no reason to rush when you're around fire. You don't want to fall into the fire or anything like that.
Hmm. That's a great tip. I never really even thought about, how quickly you kind of get up, but legs get tired or you kind of can get disoriented or in a true survival situation, if you're thirsty or hungry or weak or confused, yeah, you want to make sure you're pacing yourself because things
Yes.
get pretty bad pretty quick.
Yes. I'll get up and get the staff walker. Say, okay, now I'm up. I'm
Hmm.
going over here, so I'm going to the right. The fire's there. Let me turn, and because all it takes is just a stump, and you can fall
Hmm.
into the fire.
Hmm.
So, it's just I just tell people, you're not out there to run 100-yard dash. Everything is slow and methodical.
Hmm.
I mean, like I said, I mean, just think a little cut on your finger can really make a big difference.
Hmm. No, it's true. Pretty uncomfortable pretty quick.
Yeah, can you imagine trying to do first aid at night? Even though you have a headlamp on and everything, you just don't. I think to me, the nighttime is where I'm going to enjoy everything that I've done during the day.
Yeah, I'm with you. And you know what? I would almost rather wrap up that day a little early and get camp set up and get relaxed and back to camp. I even find that even hunting too. I know a lot of people, and you know this probably from hunting, that your morning and your sun up and your sundown are the best times to be in the bush. But I'll
Yeah.
tell you, there's been many a times where on a slow day, I'm like, I'm gonna make that hike back to camp, maybe that extra 15 minutes early, so I'm not climbing out of that tree in the dark, right? And because like you said, one bad step could be pretty bad pretty quick, right?
Yes, yes, I agree. I agree.
Yeah.
When I'm hunting, I always want to try. You have a certain time you have to complete
Mhm.
your hunting, so I'm going to make sure that I am headed back to my vehicle uh, well in advance, and just hope I have better luck next time.
Yeah, I agree with you. It can get
Yeah,
pretty bad pretty quick,
yeah,
for sure. It's funny. I just saw a really cool comment in here from
yeah.
She Fires. This is a whole new world. I'm interested in peeking in the window of trying an outdoor adventure, which is awesome. I think that's such a good
Yeah.
way. And the thing is, like, you can just dip your feet into it, like you said earlier. Do the backyard camping, or look for those little fishing areas close to home, and or a lot of people, even hunting wise, I'll explain to them that the best way to get into it is even something like bird hunting. Like here we have a lot
Mhm.
of grouse hunting, which you don't need much. You just need, get away with a shotgun and a good pair of boots. Other than that,
Exactly.
off you go, right?
Yeah.
So there's that's another thing, right? Is start small. I've seen some people also try to get into outdoor hobbies and
Mm.
they go too far in. Even for hunting, I've seen people go nuts. And you buy the new rifle, and you buy the boots, and you buy the backpack, and you buy the gear, you buy the knife, you buy all of this, and you've just leapt before you've even taken your first step. Borrow
Yeah.
stuff, try secondhand stuff,
Exactly.
grow as you go, right? But make it
That
fun,
is
right?
true.
Hmm.
Yeah, that is so true.
Totally.
Yeah.
Well, I really appreciate you popping on and
Thank you so
chatting.
much. I appreciate it myself. It's been fun. So yeah, so I'll be looking for your next video. And again, I got to tell you something I really truly enjoy about your show. Your the ice fishing. I think I'm in Virginia. There's no ice fishing, but the one when your son caught the fish and it kind of
Yeah.
fell back in,
Oh, it
but
was
then
heartbreaking.
didn't he catch the same one again?
He did, yeah, yeah. It was like a couple seconds later, and like and the reason why it got off is that drag was too loose. So when he was reeling that fish up, the fish was just going, and there wasn't enough tension, right, for that bait in the fish's mouth. So I tried to
Mm.
get in there like a good dad and adjust the drag, but as soon as I did that, I mucked it up for him. But yeah, he dropped the line back down, and that same fish bit again. So yeah, it's fun. We still have well over 2 feet of ice. So
Okay.
I picked up an electric auger finally
Uh-huh.
because I was hand cranking, man. And to hand crank through 2 feet of ice at an 8 inch hole, me and my son went out a few weekends ago and we did an overnight trip. And I ended up
Hmm.
drilling 11 holes, right, to move around before we got set. Man, I went to bed and my shoulders and my back were just like so tired. You just can't, it's just too much wear. So the electric thing is now like cutting butter with a hot knife. So it's like 7 seconds, 8 seconds a hole. It's like fun to drill holes now.
Wow.
But
Yeah, yeah,
yeah, 2 feet of ice, brother. There's a lot.
yeah. I bet it is.
Yeah.
Okay, DC Outdoors. I definitely appreciate it, and I'll be looking forward to your next video.
Thank you kindly, my friend. I really
All right,
appreciate you
thank you.
jumping in on the panel.
All
Thanks
right,
so much, man. Have a good night.
you too.
Okay, bye.
Bye.
That's awesome. Thanks so much, Virginia Bushcrafter, for jumping in. Um, I really appreciate that conversation. That was awesome, and a real treat that you jumped up here to chat. And I hope that if there's folks here in the audience who haven't checked out your channel, that you go check it out. And so I pinned it again in the link, and there it is again. And I wouldn't mind if someone wants to try that hashtag new friend to see if that actually shares out the link. Haven't seen any links here shared, so I'm not sure if that maybe isn't working or maybe it is, and it's I don't know. So maybe if you guys want to give that a whirl, it might not be working. So I don't know. Let me know. And I'm going to go through that in the meantime and share some of the other links of folks that have kind of come through. And as I mentioned as well, if anybody does want to jump into the panel, the link is still there. It should be pinned at the top of the chat, or I can drop it again. But I'll share some of the other ones here that we got. Okay, cool. It is working. Thanks, She Fires, for trying that out. So appreciate that it works. Yay! Thank you so much. So She Fires, maybe we can talk a little bit about your channel. I know, of course, I'm sure that if people want to jump up, they will. But I'll tell you a little bit, I guess, about what I know about She Fires. So I'm fairly new to She Fires. I'm sure that we got connected maybe a couple months ago, month ago, something like that. So your channel or She Fires' channel is a personal defense channel. So I'll just read the about section. So if you're interested in checking it out, but it says, welcome. I focus on self-defense with and without a firearm. The goal of the channel is to share content on guns, gear, training, and situational awareness with people who are on the same journey of a self-protection mindset. I've seen some of your videos where you're trying out different kinds of firearms, talking about different sorts of holster types, kind of giving your different thoughts on, various pistols, stuff like that, little tips on different, what kind of guns to choose and all that kind of good stuff. So I definitely think that there's a huge amount of overlap in terms of, obviously firearms and protection, and that certainly overlaps to a degree with survival and bushcraft. And, so I certainly think that if anybody's into, this kind of content, you definitely would like She Fires. And, you've been a really good friend so far here of the channel, and it's been fun, seeing you popping in and dropping comments on the videos and, all that good stuff. So, yeah, I hope that if you guys, are looking to check out a new channel, go check out She Fires, and the link is there posted by the lovely Nightbot. But I echo what She Fires said. That was a really great discussion. So thanks so much, Virginia Bushcrafter, for again for jumping in on that panel and chatting with me. And yeah, I'm looking at the clock, and we probably talked for almost 40 minutes, which is awesome. That flew by. And yeah, you're doing some really good stuff. And yeah, really exciting to watch, and lots of learning that I've gathered from watching your channel. And I saw that Dan's Outdoors popped in a little bit ago. Winter is back in Moore, Michigan. Feel like getting out the Alaknak and setting up for another 2 years. That's so funny. Yeah, you had your Alaknak set up for 2 years, which is crazy. I am so happy that your tent has held up that much and has been so durable. And I'm really happy with mine. Um, I don't know if you guys have been following my channel for a while. You probably know that 2 seasons ago, I'd gone out hunting for a week on a couple of different occasions using my little 6 foot by 6 foot fish in haven ice fishing tent as my hunting camp. So I just used my 6 foot by 6 foot ice fishing tent for I think it was 7 or 10 nights. I used it as my camp. And in there, I was heating it with just a little buddy heater, sleeping on a cot with my minus 30-degree sleeping bag. And I burned through a ton of propane in that thing to kind of keep that thing heated. My little buddy heater burned for about 5.5 hours off of a tank. I didn't have any room to stretch out, no room to really cook, nowhere to relax, right? So I kind of made the decision that I wanted to get a hot tent to use for hunting, but something that was still going to be big enough, not only just for me, but for my kids as they grow, and something that we can use now for family trips, but also something that we can kind of go into together if they decide to stick with it. And I had landed on that. Mine's a 10 by 10 Oaknak, and I used it on, I think, two longer trips last year. I want to say a 7 day and maybe a 4 or 5 day trip. And then we've used it on several other trips. We used it in January. And man, I'm so happy with it. I think it's such an awesome purchase for what you pay. I definitely think we've already gotten a value out of it. And like I said, I'm so happy that yours has held up. Um, kind of having it set up for 2 years is insane that it's kind of been that durable. So pretty amazing. And then who else? Let's go through and I'll kind of talk a little bit about some of the other channels that sort of popped in. I saw my friend Average Joe MRE, so I'm going to give Average Joe MRE a little shout out. You popped up in here a little bit ago, and I don't know if you're still here or not, but Average Joe MRE and Gadgets is what his channel is now called. It used to just be Average Joe MRE, but Joe's been doing a lot of little gadget reviews, especially about all of the different types of stoves. So there's been a lot of focus on Joe's channel lately about different kinds of wood stoves. But where I met Joe was absolutely in the MRE community. So when I met Average Joe MRE, he was really focused on reviewing MREs and the Canadian MREs, which are called individual meal packs. But Joe also did a lot of international MREs, which were really cool to watch. Like I've seen him review stuff from overseas, which is pretty cool. But like I said, now he's been doing a lot of like little stove builds, DIY stoves, little stoves that he's kind of picked up. So you'll see lots of cool stuff like that on his channel. Joe's is based also in Canada. So he's out in BC, British Columbia. So he's a good Canadian guy. Like I said, one of the kinds of guys who definitely is real supportive. Definitely will watch videos, kind of support, share stuff, and he's just a really good dude. Um, Another guy that I want to give a quick little shout out to that's been a really big help for me is Two Brothers Outdoors. So I'll drop a little shout out for Two Brothers Outdoors. Um, Brothers Outdoors is a really cool channel. They're two brothers and they spend a lot of time hunting and fishing, but then they also do a lot of lumberjack work, like logging and making boards and all that kind of cool stuff. The reason why I want to shout out Two Brothers Outdoors is over the last little bit that I've been trying to grind out, my watch hours, right? Two Brothers Outdoors has been very helpful in clicking and running, my playlist and helping me get over the top. They've been doing an awesome job where they'll just click my videos and let them run. It's funny, they told me that they were letting it run and letting their dogs watch DC Outdoors, which is, hey man, that's a good support in and of itself. But I really appreciate the Two Brothers Outdoors for helping support my channel, letting it stream, dropping in and commenting, and I was able to help them as well by doing the same thing to help push them over their 4,000 watch hours. So I think that they're just going through their monetization process right now, and I'm still chipping away at mine. But I wanted to just give a little shout outs to Two Brothers Outdoors, and that's their link right now at the bottom. So definitely give them a check out if you like hunting stuff. They do a lot of predator hunting, deer hunting. They are doing, like I said, a lot of lumber processing as well, which is pretty cool. Going back to some of the comments. She fires. Outdoor living is so interesting hearing from other YouTubers and how they started on their outdoor adventures. I hope you'll have more folks up. You're a good host. Oh, thank you so much. I really appreciate that. It's very kind of you. Um, it is fun to kind of connect with other people, and I love having other people jump up and kind of talk about their channel, what they're all about. It's a good way for them to kind of talk about themselves in their own words, and yeah, passes the time, for me. So if anybody else does want to jump up, again, I do have the link, but I will reshare it should anybody, want to jump up the chat. So there is the link again, and it's pinned and should be highlighted right there. Fish Big, nice to see you pop in. I appreciate you dropping in. Fish Big, I really appreciate you running the playlist lately. I can always tell when people are helping me out with the playlist watching, because I am seeing comments on videos that came out years ago, and it reminds me. I go back and click up some of these videos and look at when I looked about 10 years younger, 30 pounds lighter, and a whole lot less gray. So Fish Big, I appreciate you that you've been jumping in and helping me out with my playlist. For anybody that hasn't heard, I hope that Fish Big, maybe you'll consider typing in that hashtag new friend to share out your link. But Fish Big is an Alberta-based channel as well. So he's from southern Alberta, and no joke, his title well summarizes what he's doing. If you want to watch a guy catch no fish, I'm the guy to watch. You want to watch DC Outdoors if you want to just watch a guy standing on a lake for 7 hours catching nothing and eating cheeseburgers. But if you want to watch a guy catch some ginormously big pike, you definitely go check out Fish Big. He's doing ice fishing right now, does a ton of open water fishing too. And like I said, he is definitely nailing some really nice big fish here in Alberta. So I encourage you to check out Fish Big as well. And like I said, you will be in good hands if you check out his channel. Who do we got popping in here too? Oh, Den's Outdoors has shared their link, so you can see Den's Outdoors right there. So I will highlight that one for a little bit as we talk. Thanks for dropping your link. And again, I encourage you guys to check out each other, and it's a great way for you guys to meet some new friends. And the crew that's in here, no joke, has been so supportive, and I'm pretty confident that by you clicking on some new videos, making some new friends, I mean, I know that you're going to get the same level of support back that I've gotten. So definitely do that. And the other thing I'll mention too, if you're watching this, is please do leave a like here on the video, which you can do, and that'll also help me out quite a lot. So you can click that like button at the bottom and give the video a nice big thumbs up. Just bear with me here a second. Just trying to highlight some of the other channels. I see Armored Sweatpants has dropped in. So Armored Sweatpants, you're a new friend, so I appreciate you popping in. And who else did we have pop in? I see Spicy Tuna Rolls laughing. And I think we are pretty much caught up. We'll share a little bit about Den's Outdoors. So just bear with me here, and I'll highlight that link. Where are you at here? I'm going to scroll back up. Oh, you are highlighted still. So Den's Outdoors. What can I tell you about Den's Outdoors? So I think we connected off of your Alaknak tent video. So I'm fairly certain that's kind of how we connected. I'm pretty certain. Your channel is listed here on your About page. Building things and having fun outdoors. Um, I can see here on your page that you got 83 subscribers, 104 videos, and you've been at this since September 2021. So definitely would love to see a few more visitors come your way and get you closer and closer to that 100, you know, place. But yeah, we've seen a lot of videos on your page about your ATVs and your tent and wood stoves and all kinds of good stuff like that. Boats you've built and camping trips. So a nice assortment of stuff that you're going to find on Den's Outdoors channel. So again, like I said, definitely want to go check out his channel. But I was blown away by the fact that you had your tent, set up for 2 years, and that thing was like pristine. It looked like it just popped out of the box. I think you had a little bit of leaf litter on it and maybe a little wear and tear, but it looked like it was in awesome shape. So that's funny that we've been able to bond over that. And I saw here as well that Fish Big's link is there as well, so I'll highlight that one. And I kind of mentioned that Fish Big posts fishing videos from South Alberta. So, like I said, on his page, he's going to be catching some real nice pike. So definitely check out his page as well. And he's got a lot of awesome shorts. And I just like the flow of Fish Big's channel. Like there's the music over the fishing is awesome, and I really like how you put out your channels. And you've been an awesome friend too. So thank you so much for dropping in, and definitely go show Fish Big some love. Got some people meeting some new friends, which is good. Good to see ya. Good to meet you. So some friends connecting here. I was just gonna say too that I definitely would love for you guys, if you are checking out a new channel, I'm cool with you dropping out of the live stream. Go over to their channel, click a video or two, make sure that you watch a few minutes of it at least. Give it a like, leave a comment. If you don't engage with the video and you just click on people rapid fire machine gunning them into subscriptions, all that'll happen is they'll see a big pop today, and then all of their new friends will disappear and you won't know where they are and you'll lose touch. So it won't hurt my feelings if you go click on someone's channel, give them a few minutes to make sure that that friendship sticks, and then feel free to pop back, guys. That's all good with me. But I want to make sure that these connections last. You guys are all good folks, so I know that you will support people, which is awesome. Chattanooga Chop. I love Chattanooga Chop's channel. I haven't seen you chopping up anything. That's really kind of you. I appreciate you dropping in. Skills like a hardened survivalist, but as nice and affable as my favorite neighbor. You represent everything good about Canada. That's super sweet. What you don't know is I get noise complaints all the time from my neighbors because I'm loud, rowdy, and rambunctious. But I'm just joking. I'm just joking. But I appreciate your kindness as always, my friend. And Chattanooga Chop is such a cool channel. I gotta share Chattanooga Chop's channel here. Let me look it up real quick. Chattanooga Chop. That's a hard one to spell. What you're gonna see on Chattanooga Chop's page is literally him chopping stuff up. Like, I hope that you're still here. Maybe you can drop me a hashtag new friend there, Chattanooga Chop, if you're still in the house. But what you're gonna find on his channel is like him literally chopping things with different sorts of blades. Like I've seen him set up like chop Olympics where there's like paper towel tubes and plastic things and water bottles, and he's like just chopping them up, throwing stuff in the air, chopping it. They're like super short videos. They're like mega entertaining, and generally speaking, it's just like quick little hit stuff that's just so entertaining. And Chattanooga Chop has the eye-hand coordination of a surgeon. Like this guy is insane at being able to go and like I said, hand-eye coordination to chop different things. Like it's absolutely bananas. So Chattanooga Chop, definitely one of my favorite channels. And I try to catch up on yours whenever I can, and often I'll binge watch a bunch of them because, like I said, they're quick hits and they are super fun. But I don't know why my search isn't working. I may have to go through my subscriptions list and then find you that way. I can't spell so good. Maybe that's what the issue is. It's so hard with the way that the link of friends is set up. Chattanooga, Chattanooga. If I spelling it right, talking to myself. Ah, yeah, here we go. Watch, someone's gonna post the link in here probably by the time I do all the searching, since I'm not looking at the screen right now. There's Chattanooga Chop. For the description on Chattanooga Chop's page, the channel is about the joy of chopping and sometimes smashing, slicing, or stabbing a variety of different objects, sometimes in slow motion. It's always like incredibly entertaining. Um, like so much fun. So I think that you'll check like that one as well. YouTube doesn't like the sub for sub thing. Wait a day before training favor. That's a good call out too. Yeah, definitely. There's things like that that can happen for sure on the sweatpants. So that's a good call out. Yeah, and one of the things that I always kind of recommend too is sometimes I found that I get subscribers, and if they don't comment, then the number might go up, but I don't know really who has subscribed. So it's always good, like I said, to leave some sort of comment, and then that way, tomorrow or whatever, when you're kind of rolling through your comments, you can go back and check out people that kind of dropped in. I think we're all caught up there anyway. If anybody else, feel free to share the links. Um, what else can I tell you? What's going on for me? So I kind of mentioned earlier, I think I'm going to go out ice fishing tomorrow. Um, I went out on Sunday. It was dreadfully slow where I went. I think I had two little bites, and I was out there from 7 a.m. to around 3 o'clock at night. It was really painfully slow. There were no other fishermen out there, which was nice because it was pretty quiet, but there was no fish either. So sometimes I think a lack of fishermen tells you that there's a lack of fish. So I'm gonna make a go. I think at a different spot on Wabaman Lake. So I'm gonna go hit the same lake, but just at a different spot where I've had some luck before later in the season. My kiddos say that they want to come out with me tomorrow. We'll see though. Sometimes I go in there to try to wake them up at 6 in the morning, and they don't even move. So we'll see how that goes. But yeah, I'm gonna head out again fishing tomorrow. I think probably not get to stay super late tomorrow. Give some dinner plans, but we'll probably make a little bit of a go at that. I have a couple of walleye tags for that lake, so I wouldn't mind trying to catch one and take one home to kind of cook up in the fry pan. But we'll see how it goes. So we're gonna go hit that, I think, tomorrow. I don't know what the plans are for Sunday, but we'll still have, definitely 3, 4 weeks left of ice fishing yet. So I'll probably try to get a few more in. If fishing is slow tomorrow, then I may give up at Wabaman and then go try something else for perch or for trout somewhere else. There's a few folks that I've been trying to connect with and make some plans. So we'll see. I think tomorrow might be just me or me with the kids, and then try to do maybe a collaboration fish or two kind of before the season wraps up. I haven't been out antler shed hunting, so I don't know if you guys are familiar with antler sheds, but basically, usually this time of the year, deer and moose and elk, their antlers will fall off, and then they grow new ones. Um, and so it's a fun activity to kind of go out in the wintertime around this time of the year and look for those antler sheds. We use them as decor in the house, so we have them kind of mantles and bookends and kind of little places like that. But there's still a considerable amount of snow in the bush. There's been a lot of snow melt in the open fields and the open areas, but I'm hearing that the snow in the bush is still almost knee-high deep, which is not too bad for me, but makes it real hard for the kids to kind of trudge along in that. And I wouldn't mind trying to take the dogs out for a walk to do that as well, but they get so cold. They get like little fur in their paws, right? And that all gets so frozen. So I think we might wait till a little bit more snow melts to kind of go after them. You can hunt snowshoe hare and rabbits pretty much year round. I usually don't hunt them, spring and summer too much, but when we go out looking for shed antlers, we'll probably will bring a shotgun along in case we can come across a rabbit or two. So I think after ice fishing winds up, we'll probably try to do a little bit of shed hunting, and then camping season will be around the corner, and I might try to do a bushcrafting trip similar to what Virginia Bushcrafter uh, does. But if not, we'll definitely do lots of camps either in the trailer or the tent. Throughout summer, we'll do some with our family, probably do some with just me. I kind of made this little New Year's resolution that I want to try to camp at least one night every single month of the year in 2023. So in January, I did a hot tent camp. In February, I did an overnighter on the lake. I don't know what I'm going to do yet in March. I might do another ice fishing overnighter, or maybe just a tent camping trip. But I was even toying around the idea of a stealth camping trip. I know that there's a lot of stealth campers on YouTube, and that seems to be pretty popular. And I've been a little curious about maybe giving something like that a try as something a little bit different. But we'll see. I might be too scared for that. I don't know if you guys want to see me freaking out and panicking. Yeah, we'll see. But maybe that might be an idea. To play around with too. But yeah, that's kind of what I got sort of planned. I mean, the fun thing about the channel is there's always something to do. Between ice fishing, open fishing, camping, deer season, archery season, rifle season, all that sort of stuff. There's lots to do. But I know sometimes that can mean that my channel can be a little eclectic, and I recognize that. I might have people that jump in for the ice fishing stuff, and then when the fishing season's done, see a guy, trudging along in the woods shed hunting, and then some people might fall out of the bus. But at the end of the day, I appreciate that you guys come along for this journey, but I still got to do this stuff for me. So I try to do, what keeps me entertained, and I chase the seasons. And the nice thing is, there's lots to do. The bad thing is, though, I might lose some of you along the way if there's things that I'm doing that you're not interested in. But hopefully you'll still come along for the ride anyway. Yeah, but yeah, it's been a fun goal. So armored sweatpants, yeah, it's definitely a goal that I want to achieve. I have no problem camping through the summer and the fall months, right? Between I'll say regular camping that most people do in the summer, and the camping I do during hunting season. I have no problem camping May to November. I find though that January, February, March, April, December could be a little bit trickier. December's tough because it's like a short month with everything that goes on during the holidays, and January, February, March can be hard because it's cold here, right? But the ice fishing overnighter that we did a few weeks ago, the fishing was super duper slow. It was a really really fun experience to take my son out for that, and we had some really good bonding time, and that was a nice one to kind of do. And I don't know, I'm thinking March I might do another ice fishing overnighter, or I might go take the little one man tent. Last year I actually did I think it was in March, I did an overnighter in my one man little recom. It's like a stealth tent, really, and that's actually the trip that I was using the Overwatch Mossy Oak Overwatch knife that Virginia Bushcrafter was using in one of his videos, and I actually had gotten that knife from Average Joe MRE. So that kind of shows you how we're all, all one happy family. Fish for rabbits. That might be out there. I guess I could put a carrot on a string. Maybe that would work. One overnight a month is great. That's my goal as well. Hey, 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 it's Mike Kreischer Reviews, Mike Crasher Reviews, Matt Crasher, as Canadian Trucker calls him. Nice to see you in the house, my friend. Appreciate you tapping in. It's good to see you. Hopefully, you're up to something good. You're probably eating MREs, and we had, I don't know if the camera's going to catch it or not. We had McDonald's campings. I heard my kids were telling me today that McDonald's is making a chicken Big Mac. I don't know if Josh is here. He does all the food reviews, but chicken Big Mac is coming out here in Canada, so we'll be pretty pumped for that. My kid thought he invented the chicken Big Mac a few weeks ago because he bought two spicy chicken sandwiches, just like spicy tuna rolls, but he bought two spicy chickens and connected them with Big Mac sauce. Um, so he thought he invented it. So I think he thinks McDonald's ripped off the chicken Big Mac. Mike saying hi to Spicy. Had fish tonight. It's Lent. Oh, I should have known that. I'm sorry, man. Fish tonight. It's Lent. Yeah, so that must mean 30 days. Is that right? 30 days of no meat? I think that's what the deal is. Um, Yeah, and Easter's around the corner too, isn't it? All the good stuff. And I hope you're having a good week, my friend. We've had a pretty quiet year around our household. Like I was saying earlier in the I was going to say podcast, in the live stream, that after work tonight I went out. We have an outdoor skating rink that's in our community. It's only like a couple blocks away from the house. So went out after work with the boys. It was pretty much just at freezing. So it was quite a nice day out today, not too cold at all. So we went for a little skate after work. The ice there is getting thinner and thinner. You can see the grass poking through the outdoor rink. So, although it's still been pretty cold, we've obviously had a little bit of loss of ice from it, which sucks. It's fun to have, and it's nice to, kind of have that over to block away to go do some skating and get some exercise. But that season is coming to an end here by the looks of it. But we did that after work, and other than that, had a pretty, quiet week. Look at this. We got some friends meeting here. Mike's meeting Virginia Bushcrafter. Hellos, back and forth. I'm curious for you guys. Like, maybe I'll ask you. I don't know who's all in the house right now, but with the little bit of variety of stuff that we do. So, obviously we got fishing, and we got hunting, and we got camping, and the food reviews or gear reviews kind of sprinkled in. I'm just curious, like with you guys, is there, what is your favorite part of the channel? Is it the fishing, the camping, the hunting, the gear and food reviews, or something different? Just curious what you guys like the most. There's the link too if anyone wants to jump up and chat. I love that there's a mix of stuff, keeps it interesting. I appreciate that, Mike. I often wonder, do I lose a bunch of people by switching, right? Because sometimes I find that maybe that pivot from fishing and then posting a gear review and then going like small game hunting and then camping, like I wonder if I could confuse people. So that's like why I try to keep pretty consistent with the um, opening of my videos with the same music and the same like intro stuff, because I think that I might potentially like confuse people if I just jumped in and be like, hey, this is, so I try to keep the consistency on the open. But I appreciate that you like to keep stuff interesting. It keeps me engaged that way too, Mike, because I think if I only did fishing or only did hunting or only did gear reviews, I don't know if I would find that as engaging. This I think opens up a lot for me to do, and I basically get to do whatever the heck I want, as long as it's somehow outdoor related. Is kind of my theme. I had a company reach out to me, asked me to review something that was totally not related. So I guess I do have a little bit of rules about it, but generally it's pretty open ended. So I appreciate that feedback. Virginia Bushcrafter likes the fishing on the ice. Yeah, the fishing on the ice is something else. Like it's yeah, man, like it's just mind blowing. Like to know that you're standing on 2 feet of ice over 18 feet of water beneath you. Like, and then when we slept out on the ice, we're camping out on the ice. I think we were maybe in 14 feet of water, but that's still so mind blowing. It's crazy when you look out across the ice and you see like trucks driving around. Like it's very common here on the lakes for people to just drive their vehicles on the ice. I don't. I just tow my, um, I like tow my stuff just in a toboggan. So I don't drive on the ice, but it's very common for people to drive on the ice. And so another funny thing, Virginia Bushcrafters, when you're out there fishing and a guy drives by in a pickup truck, you'll hear the ice make this like almost like thunder, because when they're driving, the water is like rippling underneath the ice, and you can hear the ice kind of have that effect, almost like what a drum would make. Um, so that's really weird. And another thing that's super weird is a lot of times if you're fishing, on a cold day or in the morning, or especially overnight when it gets cold, right? The ice will grow and it expands, but you'll hear the ice like cracking and heaving as it grows, which is a really weird, slightly unsettling feeling as well, where you have to remind yourself. Like I often myself consciously saying to myself like the ice is cracking because it's growing. It's not. I'm not going to fall into this 2 feet of ice in me. I'm not going to just like miraculously fall into it. But that like cracking and heaving sound when the ice is expanding is definitely like super, I don't know, gets in your brain for me anyway. So definitely something I have to kind of talk myself out of sometimes, right? Um, the fish fillet from McDonald's sounds good right now. You know what? I've never ever ever tried a fish fillet. That's the honest to God truth. Never tried a fish fillet. Maybe someday I'll have to give it a whirl. Um, haven't tried it before. Maybe I'll have to give it a whirl. Too funny, spicy. Did you ever dehydrate food? Yeah, absolutely. Like I do. I have I think I want to say it is Salton. Is it SALTON dehydrator? Like one of those round ones with the layers in it. I've had it for a number of years, probably like 10 years. We tend to dehydrate. Like I've dehydrated a lot of leftovers. Um, so what I've done, like for example, is like if I have leftover spaghetti or chili, like those things dehydrate really good. So I'll put like layers of parchment paper on and then dehydrate those things and then scoop that into a bag and then take that out like camping or something. So that's kind of a good way to save leftovers for those sorts of things. We've used it to dehydrate like stuff like dill out of the garden to kind of save. And we have a couple of crabapple trees in the backyard that have like the most tart and sour apples ever. But what I've done is I've cooked the apples down, added in a bunch of sugar, sometimes added in some raspberries or something, and then like cook that down to a pulp and then dehydrate that and make fruit leather. Um, I've done jerky in it too. So we like to do jerky sometimes, and I actually find that I do a better job of jerky in the dehydrator than I do smoking. I find if I smoke it, it kind of gets like overly hard and it's not, I don't know, the texture is somewhat off, but I would definitely like to do some dehydrating for sure um, around those kinds of different things. We've done like banana trips or fruit or stuff like that too, if it like goes bad. Or if we look at some bananas on the cupboard that are turning, like chuck those guys in there too. But the dehydrating stuff is definitely fun. I don't know if I've ever done any videos on stuff like that. Um, Maybe that's something I could consider. Fishbake says he's partial to fishing but likes the gear reviews as well. Yeah, the gear reviews are kind of fun. It's nice to try new stuff and kind of share some feedback on it. I'll probably put together a gear review on the new ice auger I got. So I picked up that Strike Master lithium 24-volt 8-inch auger, which I'm super happy with right now. It's a heck of a lot better than hand drilling. So I'll probably put a gear review together on that one. And then I got a really, really, really cheap fish finder. My first fish finder, I picked up for $60 from this like discount store here in the city. I know Amazon sells it for about the same price, so I might do a review on that one too once I have some thoughts on it. But doing gear reviews is fun, and I like to cobble in those little food reviews too. That's kind of where the whole snack squad thing kind of originated from. And I like to do the MRE reviews, especially like when it's really cold out or rainy out. It's a nice thing that we can still do something together and have a lot of fun. I'm sure it's perfect segue. Wow, you think I'm a pro, but it's probably something that Mike would agree with, that the reviews, when you have kids at home, my kids anyway, they actually give me such a hard time when I eat an MRE that they haven't tried and I eat it without them. So I try to always do those reviews with the kids because the snack squad, they love to eat those things so much. I think they like them more than I do. But it's a fun little, hobby to kind of do when the weather's kind of crappy. But since we got somebody sharing their link, I will kind of stop my random rant a little bit and talk about Mike's channel. So Mike Crasher Reviews. I think I'm that right. Mike Crasher Reviews. So Mike Crash Reviews is a channel that Mike and I have been connected now together for, what would I say, probably less than a year, almost a year kind of thing. So basically Mike's channel is he does MRE and ration reviews primarily from all around the world. Like I've seen Mike do a lot of MRE reviews, but he's also done reviews from different countries. I've seen him do Canadian IMP reviews. I loved I think he did one, was it like reindeer stew or something from like, was it Norway or something like that. He's done French rations, lots of different stuff. You'll even see like occasional um, product review or fast food kind of food review, but definitely a lot of cool stuff. Oh yeah, I remember I'm kind of clicking through his videos right now. Mike makes hibachi. That was like a classic one. Um, so Mike Kreischer reviews, Mike Crasher reviews, Matt Crasher, Martin Crasher, whatever he goes by. Definitely, I think you'll like Mike's channel a lot. He's a really good dude. His personality is really engaging. I love how Mike will just like systematically destroy an MRE and then just take the little bits of garbage and just like coolly put it inside of his little, grocery bag off on the shelf, just cleaning up as he goes. But um, if you haven't checked out Mike's channel, I know that you'll love it. He's a really good dude, and he's been a really good friend. Him and I often chat with each other. I give him a hard time, but him and I often chat through Facebook Messenger, Instagram, or whatever. He's just a really good dude. So if you haven't checked out Mike's channel, do yourself a favor, check him out. He's an awesome guy, just a genuinely awesome dude. Sheepfire says, as a pescatarian, I love the ice fishing too. With the fishing done by someone else. Face Bruce smiling. Love it. Yeah, yeah. We don't really catch and eat so much, so most everything we get, goes back down the hole. So, and I try to release them really quick and easy, so that way it's a lot of them I don't even like. If I'm ice fishing, I will often just even take the hook out when their little faces are just like, sorry, I got the blur, but when their face is just out of the water, and then I just take the hook out of their mouth and then pop them right back in. So we don't really mess around with them too much. They go back down the hole real quick. The kids, though, I'll be honest with you, sheep fires, they are in this phase where they do want to eat what they catch, right? That's kind of something that they're into, and it's kind of the way that I've taught them with the hunting side of things, right? So we haven't caught and eaten anything half the time because I'm not that good of a fisherman. But yeah, they are definitely jonesing to catch something and eat it. But we'll see how that goes. And like I said, most of the time we'll just eat the snacks and MREs or whatever we eat along the way. But the ice fishing is really fun to do. And I actually think that I like ice fishing better than open water fishing for a lot of different reasons. I like the cool concept of like pulling out there, setting up your tent, kind of setting up a little camp. It's definitely fun to kind of set up the tent, make it warm and cozy. Um, excuse me. And even the tent, man, it could be like literally t-shirt or hoodie weather inside the tent when it's minus 20 degrees Celsius outside. So it doesn't take much for it to be nice and cozy, and it's fun. And the thing that I've said a few times too is I don't have a boat, so my open water fishing is very limited to fishing off of piers or docks or public access beaches, and a lot of the lakeshore in Alberta is privately owned, right? So there's not a lot of access points to these lakes, right? So the nice thing I like about ice fishing is I can get on the lake and go wherever I want to go. I can go out and try different depths or try different areas of the lake, and it definitely opens up the access a lot for me versus fishing from the shore. Howdy, howdy, Julie. Thank you for dropping in. Yeah, dehydrated is the way to go when traveling. I agree, and it's a heck of a lot cheaper than buying those prepackaged foods, like the mountain houses or the Ready Wise or whatever. Sticking around outdoors. Thank you so much for dropping in, my friend. Hola, hola, back to you. Julie says, we love the jerky. Yeah, you can't go wrong with a homemade jerky. It's always the first thing people ask me when we do harvest deer. Is, hey, did you get any jerky or sausage made? It's the first thing people always ask for. And it's kind of like the gateway wild game that you can share with people that don't eat wild game. I guarantee you bring over a ring of sausage or some jerky, and they're usually going to give it a whirl. Dan's Outdoors says dehydrating food is something I'll have to do. I'll give you a little trick too. Sorry, yes, Virginia Bushcrafter said that. You don't even have to buy a dehydrator, right? A lot of people actually will start dehydrating food using their oven, right? So all you got to do is kind of turn your oven to like the lowest temperature it goes and kind of keep the door open during the process. And you can often get those low temperatures that you require to dehydrate stuff without even buying like a dehydrator. But I do think though that dehydrators are a heck of a lot cheaper than buying like those, what do they call those makers? Freeze dryers. Like freeze dryers are like crazy expensive, but I think that the dehydrator I bought was probably like 40 or $50, right? So I'm certain that you could kind of track one down somewhere just to kind of get started, even if it was like a used one. But yeah, you can get away with using your oven, so that's always an idea too. Cheap jerky is ground beef through a jerky gun. Yeah, that's a good call out too, Den's Outdoors. I actually think I enjoy the ground beef jerky better than the full muscle tissue jerky. Like I find that the texture of it is like easier and it's not, you're not ripping out your teeth when you chew it. And I find that I can get that, like it's a little bit more pliable, but still cooked all the way through. Um, so it's good. And we got the jerky guns that you can use and make like I don't know if you guys have hot rods or like Slim Jims, but you can also make it so that way instead of it being like a strip, it's like a Slim Jim shape, which is pretty rad as well. I know that, in America, I think you guys drink Caesars, you got Bloody Marys, but I'll tell you, a jerky strip or a pressed jerky like Slim Jim is like so good inside of a Caesar. So good. I'll pause for a minute on the comments to just remind everybody that you can share your link by typing hashtag new friend to share out your link. The panel is open. I'll probably stick around at this for a little bit longer. So if anyone wants to jump up and chat with me, you sure can. If anyone jumps in, I'll probably give you a minute or two to kind of get settled before adding into the stream. But the link is there if anyone wants to join. Virginia Bushcrafter, check out old Maddie the Goose videos from years ago. I'm not familiar with old Maddie the Goose videos, but probably good to kind of get started with dehydrating, I'd imagine. We love the snack sweater juice days, Julie. Yeah, the kids love doing them, and they, like I said, they give me such a hard time when you don't. And I have a few really cool ones that I got. I'm looking over at my shelf out of the corner of my eyes, but I got some of those terrible Sopaco rations that I still haven't busted into. So probably need to crush the rest of those, although they're god awfully terrible. Mike had sent me a bunch of awesome ones as well that we haven't busted into, and I have like a 24-hour one that I got from Average Joe MRE. It's like a 24-hour British MRE that we haven't tried yet. And then I got a case of Canadian IMP. So we have a bunch of them to try. So we'll probably do more of those, Julie, soon. So for a while, I was trying to do 2 videos a week. I was doing like Stack Squad Sundays, which was like a ration review or a cooking video, and then the regular videos on Thursday. But I just couldn't keep up to that sort of velocity. I was trying to, if possible, like record multiple things. Like, so for example, when I went on a camping trip, we would record the you know food review and then break the two into 2 different videos so I could keep the overall video length down, but just kind of share 2 videos. So I'll probably try to do that and see if we can get anything in the hopper. Maybe we'll take a ration out on the lake tomorrow. That might be fun. Do something different. A man of many names. And you are kindly welcome, Mike. Just ate red beans and rice that we dehydrated in August 2022. It was delicious. Upcoming favorite camp cooking video coming soon. Can't wait, Julie. That's awesome. Ate rice and beans that we dehydrated August 2022. Did you have it like just dehydrated in a container or something, or did you sock it away in the freezer? Let me know. I usually dehydrate them and then chuck them in the freezer, like a what you call it, like a vacuum bag. Yeah, so I'll dehydrate it, throw it in a vacuum bag, and chuck that in the freezer. So that should be good forever that way. Spicy tuna rolls loves the ice fishing. Yeah, you don't get ice fishing your neck of the woods. That must be kind of fun too. And I always kind of enjoy that too with some of the channels, like to watch something that you don't get to experience. Like I follow a few channels where they do like a lot of the ocean fishing, like the fishing, I guess, on the ocean. And that kind of stuff is pretty interesting. Or like the salmon fishing out on the west coast is pretty cool too. kind of cool, the YouTube thing, right? It takes you places that you can't normally be. Your ice fishing videos are awesome. Thanks, Julie. I appreciate that. We have so much fun doing the ice fishing thing. Dehydrated food is great for canoe camping too. That's a good call out, Ben. Absolutely. Yeah, it doesn't require much. A little bit of water and rock and roll. Gotta tenderize the whole meat mechanically. Hmm. Like with when you're making whole meat jerky, like with maybe a tenderizer thing or something like that. I've usually just like sliced it and then let it sit in its kind of marinade or like dry cure, right? And then throw that on the dehydrator. But I always find that, I either leave it on too long and it gets kind of like breaks in your mouth like a piece of like a cracker, or I want to pull it off early and it's like too pliable and I don't know if it's like fully done. So that's the hard thing I have with whole meat jerky. But I find that for me anyways, the ground jerky is just like easier. That's my link. So that's the StreamYard link if anyone wants to join. Thanks again. Always great info. Wish we were on the beautiful lake with you guys fishing. Oh, well, if you guys are up this way again, if Alaska is calling your name and you guys want to go ice fishing, I don't know if that's the time though, to make that trek in the wintertime, but it's definitely a really, really, really good time. And if you guys are ever up here again, would love to take you out ice fishing. Have a great night and weekend, everyone. I'm off to sleep. See you later, fish bag. I hope that you get an opportunity to get out on the hard water this weekend and tackle some big fish. And yeah, if you guys do like, someone who actually catches fish on their fishing videos, definitely check out Fish Bag's channel. He, like I said, catches some really, really, really nice pike pretty constantly. So, like I said, you can watch DC Outdoors to watch a guy just eating cheeseburgers on a lake with his kids. I would appreciate you for spending your time doing that. But if you want to watch a dude who actually catches fish, go check out Fish Big. Virginia Bushcrafter says, I just subbed to Old Daddy the Goose. I'm going to go check out some of the videos right after this live. Awesome. Mike's saying good night. Ziplocked it on the shelf, but only for about 6 months. That's pretty awesome, though, man. You get 6 months shelf stable in a Ziploc bag off of that. That's outstanding. Anytime you can expose your children to the outdoors is a win. Yeah, my dudes are pretty good at that, pretty resilient, especially the older one. Little guy, sometimes just wants to stay at home and play on the TV or video games or whatever. But supposedly they both want to come out with me fishing tomorrow. But like I said, we'll see. We'll see if they wake up when I go in there. Maddie the Goose is some good dehydrated videos. I'm gonna have to write that down. So I like to keep a little notepad here. So I'm gonna check out Maddie. I don't know Maddie the Goose, so I'll go check him out. And I'll tell him that Dan's Outdoors sent me. It's fun for me to make a new friend too. She Fires is heading out. I'm heading out too. Enjoyed the company on the Friday night. Have a nice weekend. Thank you so much for dropping in, She Fires. I really appreciate you popping by. And check out She Fires as well. Really awesome channel. Definitely focuses on a lot of self-defense, firearm stuff. So you're gonna find lots of like tutorials about how to choose different firearms or different storage systems for them. Lots of really good information on She Fires page. So definitely go check them out. Cheers if you got them. PBR for me. I don't know if that's a good thing or not, but it's what was in the fridge. Yeah, other than that, I don't know too much new. Like I was saying earlier off the hop, I thought that I could grab, I thought that I would do like an open mic jam on this DC Outdoors Live. Like, I thought that that'd be kind of fun if I go grab a guitar and start playing songs. But then I realized that playing other people's music on a live stream, I think could be a copyright infringement thing, right? And that's probably not something that I need to deal with, which could be fun though, but no fun in that. PBR is my favorite. Yeah, PBRs are pretty good. Definitely nothing wrong with them. I've been into Heineken a lot lately, but PBR is a good one. She fires. Good to meet you. I don't know about that. Yeah, I don't know much else. Yeah, like I said, going out fishing tomorrow. I don't know what we got planned for Sunday. I think tomorrow night, wife and I might go do date night after fishing. Um, Sunday probably just be a lazy day around the house. Fishing season or ice fishing season, I probably get to go for another 3 weeks, 4 weeks, something like that. So I'm going to give it one more crack, trying to get some walleye. I have a couple of walleye licenses, so be awesome to be able to tag a walleye, take one home. But if if not, I might move on to a different lake. So we got some other trout lakes around here and perch lakes, so I might try something different. And there's been a few other friends that I've been trying to set up some plans with to do little collaboration videos with to do some more ice fishing. So it'd be awesome if we could make that work with a few other guys that are around the Edmonton area. So we'll see if we can swing something here in the next few weeks before the season's over, and then we'll move on. Like I said, do some shed hunting, maybe a little bit more rabbit or snowshoe hare hunting, and I'm still questing to camp at least one night every month in 2023. So I've checked off January, I've checked off February. I don't know yet if I'm going to do in March. I don't know if I'll do another ice fishing overnighter. I might, and if not, I might do just a solo camp out in my little one man tent. Nice to see some friends making friends. Have you seen the One Tigris Tegamin hammock tent? No, I haven't. I have not. Hammock tent. I'm Googling it right now. See the One Tigris Tegamin. I'm probably mispronouncing that horribly. That's one thing that you guys might not know about me is I can't read very well. Just try to look at pictures of it. Oh, okay, interesting. Tegamin hot tent with stove jack. Interesting. So it kind of hangs off an A-frame, like a cord off the A-frame, but as a hot tent. That's interesting. That's really cool. Thanks, Julie. Appreciate it, man. You guys were so great on the Cool Quest chat. It was awesome to see you both there. Cool as cucumbers with the glasses of wine and the fireplace. Meant for that. Ben's Outdoors is going to give that a try soon. Ridge line between two trees. Yeah, that's really cool. I'm kind of like multitasking right now. I'm doing a terrible job at it. You can probably see me squinting away looking, but yeah, it looks like an interesting little tent. Probably easier to set up than like the Alaknak. I mean, that thing takes me about an hour and a bit, right? So probably get better at it in time, but you know, it's not easy. The ridgeline is pretty cool. The one thing I like about the Alaknak is that thing is pretty sturdy. Once you got it set up and pegged off in the corners and the ginormous pegs that it comes with, like that thing, I think that's famous last words saying that thing ain't going anywhere. That's what people always say before something blows away. But I've never had any concerns with mine. Even setting it up in snow and frozen ground and thawed ground, it's been pretty rock solid, which is really good. You can use two cots in it instead of a hammock as well. That's pretty cool. I've never been really much of a hammock sleeper. That's one thing I haven't tried too much, Dens. I usually sleep on the cot or on the ground, right? I find that a little bit more comfortable. But I've heard people love hammocks too. I just really haven't, aside from just like the one we take camping just to kind of like um, hang out in the campground, but never really slept on one, in a camping situation. All right. Well, I think I'm probably going to start to wrap it up, my friends, but I really appreciate you guys all spending some time with me tonight and, kind of keep me company. And hopefully I was able to do the same with you guys. Genuinely appreciate all your ongoing support and, connection. And it's always fun in these formats to be able to chat with you guys in, a little bit more real time. So I appreciate it a lot, dropping in and watching and, you know, um, all the support that you guys have given me. I hope that with whatever you guys get to do this weekend, that you guys have a good weekend, whether you're spending it outdoors or with family or, even if you're out at work, I hope that you're, making the best of it and having a good time doing it. Like I said, we're going to be checking in next week with probably a nice fishing video. So I hope you guys can wish me some luck and send some good vibes my way. I'm on a massive cold streak. So hoping that tomorrow we get a little bit of luck and kind of break the skunk streak that we are on. Otherwise, like I said, otherwise on the channel, we'll kind of keep chipping away at doing some ice fishing stuff, some gear reviews in the hopper, and all that good stuff. I mentioned a few times too that we're still trying to gun out the watch hours, so would mean the absolute world to me for you guys to let the DC Outdoors playlist just rock and roll. Maybe even at the conclusion of this, if you want to kind of click my main playlist and just like let it rip. I don't believe you have to actively watch it. Just like simply kind of set it and forget it will definitely help. But I've been a big fan that many hands make shorter work of a big task. It's like moving, right? Get a few people helping you, and it makes it all easier. So definitely mean a lot to me for you guys doing that. I know many of you guys have been already helping with that task, which is awesome. But I will drop that link for the playlist there, which I think should take you. Um, Other than that, though, like I said, that's it in a nutshell, my friend. So definitely agree that it's always fun, like you said, to chat in real time. And I hope that you guys too, Julie and Dick. Hope you guys have a good weekend. Um, just go where the fish are. That's the secret. Amen. Well, I'm going to the lake, so that's better than trying to catch them from the couch, which is sometimes tempting. And thanks, Mike, for the good luck. And appreciate you dropping in and watching the stream. But yeah, I think that'll wrap it up. We'll end it off as we always do. I think you guys know the drill. Could probably almost repeat the close. But we might as well rock it out anyway since we're consistently trying to maintain consistency. But once again, though, my friends, thank you so much for watching. And if this was your first time here and you like outdoor adventure videos, gear reviews, and other outdoor related stuff, well, please get started by clicking the like, subscribe, and the bell notification buttons so you don't miss anything. Until next time, we'll see you outdoors. Thank you guys all again for watching, and we'll chat with you soon. See you again. Bye.